This is the Enjoy Life podcast, here to help you choose your mindset, goals, and actions so that you can guide your life in the direction that you want it to go and enjoy it. It does take a little bit of work, some effort on your part, but that effort is worth it because this is your life and you can experience the benefits of the work that you do. And this podcast is here to help. Life doesn't magically turn out exactly how you want. It's up to you to make it happen. Now, you may not have chosen to be exactly where you're at right now in your current situation, but you will choose what you do about it. If you're ready to put forth a little bit of effort, take some small steps toward living the life that you want, then you're in the right place. Let's get started.
Hello, I'm Nick Mazie, and welcome to the Enjoy Life podcast. I'm glad you're here today and joining in. That must mean that you want to take steps to guide your life to go in the direction that you want it to go. Well, if that's the case, then I'm really excited for you, because I'm one of those people that believe if as long as you take the steps going in the direction you want, you can make progress. Now, before we dive into today's episode, I want to remind you of one thing that you probably know or have heard, and tell you about something that you might not have heard about. The first one is that I do have a Facebook page for my website and this podcast. You can go to nickmazie.com/FB for Facebook, and that's just a link that'll send you to the Facebook page. That you can just search Facebook for nickmazie.com. Well, why I want you to know about it and remind you of that is because I'm starting to put out some videos to help encourage you and help you with taking steps to guide your life to go in the direction that you want to go. If you like this podcast at all, then you might like the Facebook page with those videos, and I just put some positive messages out there. Like the one that I recorded today, right? This was a Facebook Live, but the video's up there. But the one that I did today, since I'm recording this on a Friday, was Happy Friday, and just talked about choosing to appreciate the good things in life, if it, no matter how small it is, or even if the big things. It's about shifting our focus to the things that we appreciate that are good to help us enjoy life more. And so that's the video that I recorded. So you can check that out. It's already up there. But it'd be a help to me if you'd like the page or follow it. If you enjoy this podcast, then you might like that stuff too. Now, I know the videos do have my face on it, so I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but you can go check out the videos there, and hopefully they'll help you to take steps toward the life that you want. All right. Well, now that I've got a little announcement out of the way, let's dive into today's topic. Today I want to ask you, have you ever felt your drive to improve fade? Have you ever, created a goal, and started off strong, motivated, driven even, and then fell off a little bit, and before you know it, you're kind of right back on, into those old habits and behaviors, right back to where you started. Or you started off with this big boost at the beginning, and you're just driven and motivated, and you're ready to rock and roll, and then it started to fade. And then before you know it, you just don't know what happened. You were eating healthy, or you were going to the gym, or you were saving money, or you were on your way to whatever that goal is that you set. You started off great, and then it just started to fade. And then before you know it, life got busy and distracting, and you weren't making the progress that you wanted. Have you ever been there? Well, if so, you're definitely not alone. By no means. Because once you get past that spark, that starting spark, and that boost that happens at the beginning, pushing past, once you get past that, and you got to push through, that's tough. Because when you're really excited about that goal, when it's new, sometimes they can carry you for a little bit, but once that spark's gone and it starts to fade, and you end up in that muddy middle, it can be really tough. It's not that beginning anymore. It's not where you're super excited and motivated. All that's kind of gone. So you have that boost at the beginning, where things are exciting. You can actually make some progress pretty quick and get going. And then at the end, when you're getting closer to your goal, you also have that kind of easier motivation, because you see that end in sight. When you don't have much farther to go, you're almost there. You just got to push it a little bit more. Then you can make it there too. It's like if you're running a race, and you see that finish line coming up. Well, you have that surge of adrenaline because you can make it because you're so stinking close. But what about that middle? That in between, the start and not even close to the finish, that can be really tough. That's why they call it the muddy middle or the messy middle. It's just that time in between. It's like after that motivation and that spark fades, but before you have that strong surge of adrenaline to push at the end and keep going, it's that middle. That middle is so tough sometimes. And if you've ever been there, I hear you. I have too. And what you got to do, or kind of in order to get past that, once you get past it a little bit, you can see and develop some of that momentum because you've developed some of the positive habits, and you can start to see some of the benefits of your hard work. But it's getting to that point. It's getting to where those actions are becoming habits, and you get some of the benefits that is really difficult. And if you're struggling with that, if you're struggling, that little spark has faded, you can't seem to get that momentum, and you're starting to struggle, what can you do? What can you do about that muddy middle? Because no matter what, you still want to achieve your goals. Your goals are important to you. Whatever goals you've created for yourself in your life, they're important, or you wouldn't have created them. So how are you going to push through that middle? Is there anything that you can do to make it a little bit easier? Well, when you're in that in-between stage, between that start and that final push, somewhere in between there, here's a simple way to help give yourself a little bit of a boost again. If you're in the middle and you're struggling, this is one thing that you can do. You can create a new start. Well, you're not going to go back in time. You still want to keep whatever progress that you've made. So January, we're done with it. It's over. If you created a New Year's resolution and you're starting to already hit that middle and it's just the beginning of the second month, then why not create a new start? You're at where you're at. You don't want to give up the rest of the year or even the rest of the month. Just wherever you're at, you can create a new start so that you can get that boost again. Now, a simple way to do it is just to, maybe the beginning of the week. There's what you can do is you can pair up a new start with some sort of date that some sort of meaningfulness. It might be the beginning of the week, or maybe you have a birthday coming up or an anniversary coming up of anything, or like I said, it can even be just the beginning of the week. Whatever day you pick, that has some sort of meaning that you can give to it, and this is your new start date. This is your new start date where you're going to start and you're going to push and you're going to go forward. Build up a little bit of that anticipation in your mind for this new start that you're creating for yourself. It might sound arbitrary. Well, I'm just going to create a new start. But think about it. January 1st is just some date. It's really, as far as our bodies go, it's pretty much the same as every other day of the year. But we've given it meaning and power to start on something new. And you can do the same thing. So if maybe the very beginning of January went exactly how you wanted and then it started to fade off and you lost a bit of motivation and drive. Okay. Well, one great way to get, that drive back is to give yourself a brand new start. Forget what didn't work, keep what worked, and use that and go forward. Even if you can get just a tiny, small little boost by giving yourself a new start, isn't it worth it? A lot of those tiny little boosts and those little pushes that you can give yourself and those ways that you make the effort and action just a tiny, tiny bit easier, all those add up and they're helpful. And I think it's a neat little trick that you can do to give yourself, just like I said, this tiniest little boost to help keep you going forward. You create yourself a new start and you get back on it. Like it's your first time, like you didn't even fall off track. Like you just still going. You got that new start, and you're gonna hit it with all you got. It's just a simple way to help yourself take the steps toward the life that you want. It can make it a tiny bit easier. All right. So now that is the first way that you can help get yourself back on track going forward when your drive to improve fades. It's just to create a new start. Wherever you're at, whenever you need it, create a new start to get up and get going towards your goal and what's important to you. This is the first way. Make sure you subscribe to this podcast so you don't miss any of the following episodes, because you don't want to miss them. We're going to dive into more ways to help you get yourself back on track and moving forward when your drive fades. So like I said, the first one is to create a new start. So if you need that extra little boost, go ahead and plan out your new start this week. And then next week, we'll dive into another way that you can get moving forward once again when that drive fades. All right, subscribe to the podcast because you don't want to miss any of these. Go check out the Facebook page, and so you can get some of the positive, motivational, inspirational kind of videos that I'm putting out to help keep you going forward toward the life that you want. And if you have time after those two things, please rate and review this podcast so that more people can find it. Thank you for listening. Can't wait to talk to you again soon. And here's to you pursuing the life that you want, because you can enjoy your life more and you can take steps to make it what you want it to be. All right. Take care.